friends, and welcome to what I would like to call a redraft recap. And you may be thinking, what is a redraft recap? Well, allow me to explain. First off, the screen may be blank because I don't want you to see what I have right now. What I'm going to do is read you the team that I was handed in a league where I'm currently 0-4 and minus 12. Now, I know that sounds insurmountable. We can do it. Now, with a team like this, we were given unlimited redrafts going into this. But we started out with Megalopunny, Jirachi, Latios, Suicune, Volcarona, Darmanitan, Dusclops, Ambipom, Ampharos with a Z Crystal, Chinchino, and Alola Marowak. And you may be thinking, wow, that's a lot of fire types, that's a lot of normal types. And I thought, you know what, you're right. So, I decided to do something about that. We decided to make some switches, and allow me to introduce you to the new squad. Q Showdown. Yes, we are now part of the NPL Division 2 League, which is essentially their D League. I took over for the team that was the Lycanrocs. I couldn't exactly remember their entire team name, but we are your coach. I'm Phantom Base, your coach to the New York Cosmogs, and we will be hopping right into this. And I wanted to quickly go over and say, I think there were only 3 Pokemon out of his entire roster that I didn't change. And you'll see them as I go through. So, without any further ado, let's hop right in. First off, I decided to keep Megalopunny. And as you can clearly see why, it is one of the best Pokemon in draft format, in my humble opinion. Great priority, amazing speed, great physical attack. The defenses are not too shabby either. Overall, it's just a really good mon. I just thought I would keep that Pokemon because it's just really good. And plus on top of that, I decided that we were gonna stick with that mon as our Mega. I didn't want to change it. I have access to one of my favorite Megas in the League format. Why would I give that up? Desiree the Megalopunny is back to join us once again. She makes her return from the ITL Season 4, and she's coming back to us here for the NPL D League. Essentially, is what I'm going to call it, the D League. Next up, we have Sophia, our Jirachi, another Pokemon that we decided to keep. And we switched the Z Crystal from Ampharos over to Jirachi, and you'll see why in a second. But first off, this Pokemon is so versatile. Wish passing, it can be bulky, it can be scarfed, it can be banded, it can be whatever. The Steel and Psychic dual type is so great offensively as well as defensively. It's just ridiculous. You can set up Calm Minds, you can set up a sub, you can Healing Wish, you can, if you wanted to be cheeky, you could Doom Desire, but ooh, that's a great idea. Steelium Z Doom Desire sounds kind of scary, actually. Thought for the day. Another thing is that it also gets Celebrate, and this league allows Omni Boost. So Z Celebrate Jirachi will be a thing some weeks. Not all, but some. We do have 6 weeks left, and we can make our comeback and potentially make playoffs. And that's what I want to do. Now, our next mon is... Actually, I originally had taken Goodra in place of Latios because I didn't want a second Psychic type. But after looking around, I saw that not only was Kieran Black undrafted, I had the necessary points to grab it. So I decided to grab Black Skull Dragon, the Kieran Black. And oh my goodness, I have been dying to use this Pokemon since I had it in the UPC Season 2. Dear Lord, this thing hits like a truck. The combination of offensively, this Pokemon with Megalopunny is almost unstoppable. Because everything that resists Megalopunny, which nothing switches in on Megalopunny, Doublade might be one of the best switch-ins, and it doesn't want to take 2 Earth Powers from Kieran Black. If it does, it certainly doesn't want to deal with a lot of my other mons that I have to deal with. Megalopunny can probably do a KO with a Hydro Kick. This whole team, just right there, that offensive core of Mega Lopunny, Jirachi, and Kieran Black is just ridiculously good. This Pokemon is base 125 HP, 170 attack, 100 in defense, 120 special attack, 95 speed, 90 special. Nothing is bad about this Pokemon. Its most mediocre stat is base 90 in Spadef, and we can run Assault Vest if we wanted to. This thing can be bulky as crap. This thing can be a straight out bandit set and just run through teams. This thing can be a scarf set and outspeed a lot of teams. This Pokemon is just really, really good, and I'm excited to use it. And then I thought, while I was drafting, I was like, you know what? I want to go ahead and pick up. I want to see if Togekiss is undrafted, because a Jirachi Togekiss teams like, you know, your common team there, your common combo, and I saw that it was undrafted, so I had to grab Sylph the Togekiss. And there's a reason that I changed the name, first off, because Dairy King was a fun one, but I think there's only one Pokemon I actually wanted to keep the same name from the ITL. That's my kill leader, Desiree. Sylph is a fun mon to use. Base 85 HP, mixed with 95 and 115 defense and special defense respectively, plus 120 special attack, is really good. It can pass off bulky wishes. It can be a Thunder Wave Air Slash flincher to Deather. It can be great support. It can be a Scarf Trickmon. It can be just a Trickmon in general. It can be offensive. It can be a lot of things. And a lot of people forget his priority in E-Speed, so some heat tech I might put on it someday. Maybe not this league, but someday, if I ever draft Togekiss again. But this is another returner from the ITL, and I found out that a lot of mods from the ITL were undrafted. Heatran, Thundurus Incarnate, Fortress. So many of them were just undrafted, but I didn't want to go too familiar. I didn't want to grab a lot of things. I wanted to grab some different things. You know, obviously because I wanted to keep Jirachi on my team. I've never used Jirachi before, so I wanted to be able to take it. And I wanted to use Togekiss, so I wanted to take it as well. The next Pokemon we decided to grab pairs super well with Kieran Black. Like, it was just almost every move that's super effective to Kieran Black outside of Dragon moves, and we've got Jirachi and Togekiss for that. And that is Tentacruel. Julian Smith the Tentacruel is coming back to us all the way from WPF Season 4. Way back when. I love Tentacruel. This thing gets access to some good tech with like knockoff Poison Jab. The Acid Spray set is really good. Base 100 speed dice with Jirachi, and all the base 100 pixies out there, so it's really good. Base 120 Spadef is really good. This thing is a good rapid spinner. This thing can set up hazards of its own. This thing is a good knockoff spammer. It can be a Will-O-Wisp and Hex set. I think it's Will-O-Wisp. Does it get Will-O-Wisp? It does not. It's not get Will-O-Wisp. I think it's Toxic Spikes. And that's a big thing. And yeah, this thing can be easy. Just spam acid spray, just start hitting stuff really hard. It can be good just for that kind of thing. Also, like I said, setting up spikes, absorbing toxic spikes of its own. Just that kind of deal. Really, really good Pokemon. I wonder if I like it shiny. And no, not a fan of it shiny. I like the regular form better. Do I like Serena shiny? Ooh, amazing. Anyway, this Pokemon, I decided, you know what? I want a second spinner. I need a grass type, because we actually have another Pokemon in the back. First off, you see our Fairy Dragon Steel Core of Jirachi, Togekiss, and Kieran Black is ridiculous. It's like, I need it just as good of a Firewater Grass Core. I actually want to check and see if Tangrowth went undrafted, because if it did, I may change this right now. Like, let me see. First off, is Tangrowth tier 2? It is not. It is in fact tier 3. So I'm almost positive it's been taken though. In fact, I think I know who has it. Yeah, it's. I figured it would be. That would have been so good to have on this team though. But I mean, can you blame somebody for taking it? Tangrowth is amazing. Anyway, I decided to grab Valkyrie the Serena. Having some priority blocking is really nice, especially in a team against Mega Lopunny. It's nice to have some priority blocking as well as another rapid spare. Plus this thing is bulky as crap. It's all sorts of crazy tech. Like, Trope Kick is amazing. And can we just discuss Trope Kick's power? First off, hey kids, it's base 70, 100% chance to lower attack. It can get Z Splash. What in the world is going on? Acrobatic stats, high jump kick, play rough. Good lord, this Pokemon is so good. Like, just defensively, its special attack is garbage, but its physical attack is great. Base 72 speed is meh. Base 50 special attack is garbage, but like I said, but base 98 in both defenses and 72 in HP is not terrible. Yeah, this Pokemon is just kind of gonna be a support set. In fact, a lot of times it gets aromatherapy, which is good, so I don't have to always waste the heal bell slot on Togekiss if I'm bringing it. Yeah, this Pokemon just can be really good if I need it. Plus, it can set up screens. Hey, it's your turn for some switch issue to go along well with Baton Pass and Mega Lopunny and Togekiss and U-Turn and Jirachi. Now, our last 5 months. First off, this is the last mon we decided to keep of all of them. We decided to keep all of that. The Darmanitan. That base 140 sheer force is ridiculously good. Base 105 HP is actually not terrible, and base 95 speed is pretty good. Easy Scarf. If I'm not gonna go sheer force Life Orb. This Pokemon gets some good stuff. Encore Form would be cheeky. Gets a Flame Charge set. We could be cheeky and run a Zen mode set, which I would find absolutely silly. But I mean, the mon gets things Zen Headbutt, it gets Belly Drum, it gets all sorts of crazy goodness. I mean, this mon is just so powerful and hard to switch into from anything. Like, it's ridiculous how crazy good this thing is. I mean, it's not the best, it's not Entei, but Entei was taken, and I wasn't gonna give up such a great wall breaker in Darmanitan. Now, the next Pokemon we have is Dusknoir. It was originally Dusclops, so I was like, Dusknoir is infinitely better. It can way easier run a Custap Berry or Leftovers or what have you. It's not bound to Eviolite. It's not bound to Eviolite like Dusclops is. This Pokemon can be a disabled Destiny Bond set. It can be a Haze set. I mean, this thing is just so good. It can run Pursuit. It gets Counter as well, so it's not like it's ridiculously bad. It gets Brick Break, Dynamic Punch. I mean, you name it. This Pokemon just has some decently good tech on its side. Rock Tomb, Natural Gift, Trick Room. If I wanted to go that route, it's there. I mean, it's got Infestation. It's a good set. Yeah, it's just a really pretty good mon. It gets Trick, Shadow Sneak for priority. I've got a lot of priority on my team. I also get Memento for some momentum, as well as just forcing switches. Our next mon is yet another spinner, but also needed some more hazard setting. Actually, no, I skipped it. First off, our next mon is Aerodactyl. I actually replaced the Ambipom with this because I wanted some more speed without repeating a normal type. Well, I know I'm a little grass weak. Water weak. I've also got, like I said, I've got Kyurem over here. I've got Serena. I've got Tentacruel. I've got the ways to deal with it. Our next mon is Petrie, the Aerodactyl. And this Pokemon is mainly for just hitting things hard or going with a Rocks, Defog set. I mean, you name it. We could just bring that kind of stuff. It's not going to be a crazy, amazing set all the time. Sometimes it can be a Life Orb set. Sometimes it'll be a Defog set or a Rock set. I mean, this thing is just really good. And especially with the speed, it's going to be really good to have. We can run Rock Polish set, we can run Pursuit. We can run this Sub Rock Polish set. we're gonna tailwind, we're gonna whirlwind. I mean, this thing would just be crazy good for. And plus, like I said, with the base 130 speed, we outspeed a lot of things. Base 105 attack, we can slap a life orb on it, do some serious damage to some stuff. And like I said, it's just another rock setter. It's another hazard remover, much like the next mod, which is our Pinhead Larry, the Claydol. We needed a ground type so badly because I needed to be able to switch into some electric moves and not be taking a good chunk. And with the bulk this thing has, plus it's actually got not horrible speed. It outspeeds a lot of the main threats that check it, the slower threats that check it. Plus this thing gets some great setup like cosmic power. It's a spinner. It gets rock polish. It gets trick as well. And this team is just gonna be really creepy to mess with because you don't know what I'm bringing. It gets natural gift. It gets explosion. It gets trick room. Again, this thing is recycle, so I could run like a lot of stuff on it. It gets heal block. Really crazy to bring actually. But I mean, this thing just gets some interesting moves, and it's really niche, but it could be really good, especially with running things like, you know, stealth rocks, rapid spin. I mean, just this could be a good spinner if I wanted it to be. Plus, it switches in on rocks really easily and doesn't worry about spikes or toxic spikes, and we can easily spin those away. Our last mod we decided to grab was Electro Off, and this mod is just so good with an assault vest. I mean, it was an electric type that wasn't weak to ground. I needed to get rid of my ground weakness because I did have a decent amount of ground weakness with Jirachi, Tentacruel, and even though Cure and Black and Low Pony don't want to deal with ground moves, Darmanitan's weak to ground. So I was like, my next mods have to be, and I've got Togekiss, I'm like, my next mods have to be, you know, some decent ground checks. So I got Aerodactyl, I've got Claydol, and I've got this thing, and while I look like I have an ice weakness, I've also got Jirachi, Tentacruel, Darmanitan, and I mean Cure them to an extent. And Electros with an assault vest is going to do decently against it too. Against Drain Punch, it's really good mixed defense. It's really good as a mixed attacker. It's really good as an assault vest set. It's really good as a leftover set. This thing is just good. And Abaya is here to wreck lives, and that's what it's gonna do. So yeah, we changed this team up a lot. Like I said, I think 8 of the 11 mods changed. The only ones we kept were Mega Lopunny, Jirachi, and Darmanitan. Everything else was changed to something else. And honestly, it's because the guy didn't have a Firewater Grass core. He had no Grass type whatsoever. He had no Dragon type. No, he had Latios, but he didn't have a Fairy type at all. I'm like, with a team like this, you need to have this. And he had 3 fire types. He had 3 normal types, and Defog was his only hazard control, and that was on Latios. And there was no way I was gonna leave Latios to that. And so I tried to go with the best team that I could deal with hazards pretty well. I am still a little rocks weak. I do resist rocks with Claydol and Jirachi and Mega Lopunny. Take neutral from Serena and Tentacruel. And my Defoggers are obviously going to be weak to it. Cure and Black is weak to it, Darmanitan is weak to it, but everything else is pretty much neutral or resist, so it's not terrible. My spikes weakness is practically non-existent, like, because I've got 10 Tentacruels for toxic spikes. I've got 2 levitators, 2 flyers, and Jirachi is immune to toxic spikes as well. Serena gets aromatherapy. I mean, we just got a lot of good mods here. Synergy-wise, Tentacruel and Cure and Black really synergize well. Jirachi and Togekiss synergize well. Darmanitan synergizes really well with Serena. And I think my only thing that I'm missing is a dark type, and I may be able to switch up something for that. I may actually see if I can't change out something on this team for a dark type. I do need a dark type now that I look at this. let me see if I can find one real fast. But if I do find one, I will let you guys know in another video. But this video has gone on long enough. Thank you guys so much for watching. If you guys did enjoy this, please leave a like at the bottom to show your support. That's all it's been from me. It's been Phantom Base. I'll catch you guys in our first battle. Bye, guys.